Welcome back, Axis and Allies player, Wars of the World, Series 2, the American Revolution. Take it, NATO.
Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the first half of 1776 in the American Revolution. And starting off with England. England tried to push into the northeast, tried to knock the Americans out of the Northeast Territory, but were unable to push the Americans out. Just traded some blows, traded some casualties. Then that was their only action for the turn. Bought another Hessian. That transport with the 2 infantry looks like it's heading south, so decided on the pincer attack. And then bought another transport and another frigate, so England now has 4 transports on the board. So that's a lot of troops that they can send out. America, it did a copy of the British move. They took their forces in Washington and attacked the Northeast Territory, tried to push the British out, but were unsuccessful. Same thing as the British, traded equal casualties, so looks like stalemate in the Northeast. But with that British transport and those 2 infantry threatening the South, America is going to have to split its forces soon to cover its southern flank, and it doesn't have the numbers to be able to do that. America currently has to throw everything it has into the north to keep the British from overrunning. It does not have the strength to fight a 2-front war, so it's going to be difficult for America and figure out what they do. Good news for America, though, is Benjamin Franklin has reached France, and so thanks to his world famous persuasion skills, he's convinced France and Spain to start leasing money and resources to America, so that's going to be a huge help to America. And also started the influence rolls to try to get France into the war, and rolled a 5, so now America only needs 15 excuse me, America only needs 15 more points to get France into the war early. It'll come in on its historical entrance date, regardless of where the influence counter is at. And the simplest way we've been doing that is simply we have this IPP tracker, and we just put them on the tracker and sorry. Come on, camera, focus. Just put them on the tracker and just move them up as the dice are rolled. France, it bought a transport to start ferrying French troops over to America when the time comes, which is looking like it's going to be sorely needed. Spain bought its first frigate to help France in sweeping the British Navy from the Atlantic, which is going to be very, very important. And that was the turn. It's kind of interesting, coming from the massive conflict that was the 7 Years' War, and had 8 nations and armies that were huge and had 10-20 units in the armies, down to this scenario that only has 4 nations and very small armies so far. So it's been kind of interesting getting used to that massive conflict and then downsize into this smaller one. If anything, it's kind of a relief, kind of a break. from the complexity and the large scale of the 7 Years' War. That being said, the next scenario, the Napoleonic Wars, are bigger than the American Revolution and the 7 Years' War scenario combined, so to each your own, I guess. But anyways, that's the end of the turn. We'll come back with the second half of 1776. See you then. Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the second half of 1776 and the American Revolution. In England, the stalemate in the northeastern territory continues. British reinforced and attacked, and everything missed, and the Americans shot back, and everything missed. That transport decided to land in the Carolinas, and it was 2 British regular infantry versus 1 American militia, and the end result was no losses for America and one casualty for the British. So that was a tactical victory for America. Didn't lose anything, where the British lost half their invading force, but strategically, that's 2 more dollars that America's not getting per turn. So America's now down to 6. So that's it's being offset by French and Spanish money, but it's still putting America in a precarious position, because can't win a war with only a $6 income. See, then all the transports headed back home. England did load up 2 transports worth of troops and send it south. So looks like that's the force that England's going to send to India to take the French outposts in India, which are part of England's victory objectives. America counterattacked the northeast territory again, and it was a 1-for-1 casualties. British lost 1, America lost 1. America peeled off an infantry and moved it down to the Carolinas to reinforce, and that was inconclusive as well. Everything missed. But at least this rate, or at least with 2 American units there, it's keeps the British from being able to take the territory outright. So even if that 1 British infantry attacks, and even if it hits, they only get 1 roll of the dice, so at best the English can contest the territory, they can't take it now. Then America, on its influence roll, rolled another 5, so they're sitting at 10 now. So they're only 2 rolls. America's halfway to the required 20 to bring France into the war early, so that's a big win for America. France continued to buy another transport and some more ground troops. Obviously getting ready for a major land operation. Probably North America, because as you can see, England's built up quite a ground force in the home island to make landing virtually impossible, as well as the home fleet. There's 5 frigates sitting right there. Spain bought another frigate. couple more ground troops, but Spain gearing up for major land battle, naval battle. Oh Christ! France gearing up for a land battle, and that was it for 76. Next turn's a new year, 1777, and we'll see what happens. Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the first half of 1777 of the American Revolution. The stalemate in the Northeast Territory continues. England attacked again, and each side suffered a casualty. And England loaded up another transport and started sending it across the Atlantic while the other transport is returning. Its other transport with quite a sizable army is continued heading south for India. And that's it for England. America reinforced with forces from Washington attacked Northeast territories, and same thing as before, traded a 1-for-1 casualty, so stalemate in Northeast continues. America attacked the British forces in the Carolinas, and everything missed. Then America, on its influence roll, rolled a 6, which brings their current points up to 16, so that means they only need 4 more points. So if they can roll a 4 next turn, America can bring that means France could be entering the war the very next turn. So that would be huge for America. France bought another transport, more ground troops, and Spain bought another frigate and more ground troops. And that was it for the turn. Pretty quick, seeing as how the only fighting is North America, and well, for now anyways. But that's it. We'll come back with the second half of 1777, and we'll see if France will enter the war next turn or not. See you then. Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the second half of 1777 and the American Revolution. And England continued its campaign for the Northeast Territories, and almost drove the Americans out, whittled the Americans down to 2 units, and then offloaded those troops that participated in the battle. And that frigate's returned, and transport returned, and that the 2 transports in that army are continuing around Africa. And that was it for England. America opted not to attack the Northeast Territories. They just reinforced it because of the numerical superiority. England has twice as many troops in the Northeast right now, so America opted to just reinforce and play defensively. It attacked the Carolinas again, and once again nothing hit again. And then remember last video I said America needs four more points to bring France into the war early, and America rolled a 3. They missed it by 1, so unfortunately France will not be entering the war this turn, and America's going to have to wait another 6 months before France enters it. So hopefully they can hold on long enough for that to happen. Speaking of France, bought another transport and a couple more soldiers, and just waiting for the green light to get in the war, which will be next turn instead of this turn, unfortunately. Spain bought two more frigates and a cavalry, and that was it for the turn. And we'll come back next turn, a new year, 1778, and the intervention of France into the war, and help that America sorely needs. They're not going to win this without outside help, so we'll see you then.